Well, we're going to finish over on You, where a new documentary series is available as a box set. It's called Katie Piper, Locked Up in Louisiana, and here's a clip.
I'm Katie Piper, and I'm spending a month inside one of the most notorious jails in America.
A little bit nervous, because there's always that trepidation of how are they going to receive me?
15 years ago, a violent attack changed my life forever.
They probably don't think that I've had an insight to that life. I spent a lot of time thinking I should have killed him.
And since then, I've been trying to understand why people commit violent acts.
Yeah, do you know what? Katie Piper is a real inspiration, isn't she? She does a lot of work with Woman and Home, and we're huge fans of hers, to be honest with you. She was attacked, it was an acid attack 15 years ago, and she has campaigned tirelessly for women. And she's become a household name, and she's just so, in my opinion, completely genuine and just somebody who thoroughly deserves to do well in life. And this is a really interesting new walk for her, really, new outing, because she goes to New Orleans, Louisiana, and she spends a month in a parish prison, and that's one of the most notorious jails in the US. I find this kind of thing fascinating anyway. It doesn't matter who's there, I hasten to add. But Katie Piper, having been through what she's been through and having to see someone that did that to her sentenced and what that looks like, and being through, you know, an act of criminality, if you like, against her, it has more, I don't know, gravitas, for me anyway. And she spends time with women who are accused of awful, awful crimes. And as with all these things, once you start to hear these people talk, lots of questions start to come. Should they be there? Was there a reason they did it? You know, were they provoked, etc., etc.? And there's one particular, I think it's the first episode, and she meets a woman who is accused of killing her husband. But so on the surface, she's killed her husband. She should be inside. Of course she should. She was charged with second-degree murder, and that carries a mandatory life sentence there. But once you start to listen to her story, she'd suffered a lifetime of abuse as a child. She then suffered abuse at the hands of her husband. And during one of those incredibly violent attacks, she shot her husband in self-defense. And that is why she is there. And this is what I enjoy about stuff like this, because you go out with this thought, well, you've killed someone, of course you should be inside, you are a threat to society, and then you hear the other side and you think, how many times is the law an ass? That's the phrase, isn't it? How many times is there more to this than actually meets the eye? Should she be in there? Should she not be in there? That's the question. You know, should she really be there? Is she a danger? And that goes for so many different people. And that's what this opens up for me. This opens up that conversation of how many people are banged up, rightfully, wrongfully, whatever, but their stories, and giving them a mouthpiece to say them. I think it's incredibly moving. I cried quite a lot, particularly during that one. I don't know what you think, Ian, but I'm a huge fan of Katie Piper, and I think this is great.
Yeah, I've got so much admiration for her. And as you say, because of her own shocking backstory, gives this real authenticity. Because, you know, you've got people like Piers Morgan visiting American prisons to interview serial killers. But, you know, she has a genuine insight into the experiences of some of these women. So most of them seem to be behind bars either because they've been in abusive relationships and they've fought back, or because they've been addicted to drugs, or a combination of the two. And I did actually cry watching it. What really struck me, apart from the individual stories, was the relationship, well, between the inmates, and also their relationship with one of the prison guards. It's so touching. So this prison guard brings in a sort of big Bluetooth speaker, and they all learn to do a dance routine together with the prison officer. And it's just, and Katie joins in as well, and it's just so touching. You cannot imagine anything like that happening in a male prison. You really can't. So yeah, it's there have been a lot of documentaries with celebs, going inside high security prisons. This one is really good and stands out. And, let's see Katie Piper, let's see her doing more of this kind of stuff because she's very good at it.